Grassroots support for Kari Lake continues to surge to its highest level yet. All as mansion squatter Katie Hobbs has begun to embarrassingly unravel. We're going to see the latest bombshell evidence from the Kari Lake team. We're going to see a little surprise everyone got over the weekend. And make sure to stick with me to the very end of this video when we'll find out how things are going from bad to worse for Katie Hobbs. You are not going to want to miss this. Over the weekend, patriots by the thousands gathered in Scottsdale for the Save Arizona rally featuring the one and only Kari Lake. And in the midst of her amazing presentation where she dropped a brand new bombshell, she and everyone else got a wonderful little surprise.
About you. But hey, here. Oh my, are you serious? Yeah. President Trump just called in, guys. Okay. Hold up, guys. We have the president on the phone. President Trump, you're not going to believe this crowd. Everyone in Arizona cares about election integrity. Tell them hello.
Well, hello, everybody, and it sounds like an unbelievable crowd. I wish I was there with you. Because Kari is a fantastic person. It's a shame what happened. They had the machines, quote, broken, okay? A lot of these Republican area machines were broken. It's a disgrace. And ultimately, she's going to be victorious. But I just want to thank everybody for being there. We love you all.
Now that was awesome. Now, in her presentation, Kari dropped some new bombshell evidence about how the election in Maricopa County was clearly tampered with. Check it out.
We had observers in MCTEC. And for some weird reason, they had this map on the wall. We thought, well, that's interesting. This is a map, we were told, that shows the hot spots where all the Republicans vote. So you see the areas where it's really heavily Republican in Maricopa County. Now I want to show you another map. The white pins show areas that are just a complete and utter failure. For every single ballot that was tabulated, another ballot was spit out. That's a wash, right? Every ballot that was tabulated, one got spit out. Those were the worst case scenario. These other pins here are areas where the tabulators are spitting out ballots all day as well. Now let's just, for the fun of it, for grins and giggles, let's overlay those two maps real quick. Oh, now I'm starting to figure out why they needed that heat map. Isn't that something? I'm sure it's just a coincidence, guys.
Now, the MCTEC that she was referring to there is the Maricopa County Tabulation and Election Center, MCTEC. And several weeks back, when Richard Barris of the People's Pundit was out there testifying in court on behalf of Kari Lake, he took a picture of a map that was hanging on the wall of one of the rooms at MCTEC, which appeared to be a heat map of the most Republican areas in Maricopa County. And what they've now discovered, and this is the bombshell that Kari Lake dropped over the weekend, is that those areas line up, they overlap almost exactly with the areas where they were having all those tabulator problems. Now, of course, we now know why, at least in part, so many tabulators didn't work. In their examination of the ballots, Kari Lake's legal team found that 48 of the 113 ballots they examined were 19-inch ballots produced on 20-inch paper, which caused them to be rejected by the vote tabulator. So this size discrepancy, which according to expert testimony had to be deliberate, this size discrepancy is why the tabulators rejected the ballots and why so much chaos ensued on Election Day when the vast majority of voters came out to vote for Kari Lake. And more than that, on top of it all, you had upwards of 300,000 ballots failing the most basic chain of custody protocols.
Start with 300,000 ballots with zero chain of custody. I'm going to explain this in slow motion, in easy terms for the simpletons in the media back there. Testimony from our whistleblowers down at Runbeck proves that. 300,000 ballots lacked chain of custody. For those of you who don't understand what chain of custody is, it is basically the law that ensures that illegal ballots don't get counted and don't infect our elections. And we know that 300,000 illegal ballots because they didn't have chain of custody were counted in the final total.
So if you're not familiar with how chain of custody works, just think of how evidence tampering works in the legal sphere, right? The way you guard against evidence tampering is by accounting for every place the evidence has been throughout the entire judicial process. So there's an accounting and verification process where and when the evidence is first received, where and when the evidence is taken, where it's stored, who has access to it. If at any point, if that evidence falls out of that verified chain of custody, if clear accounting and verification of the chain of custody is broken, that evidence is now inadmissible, not because it did get tampered with, but because it could have been tampered with. And so in a similar manner, this is basically what happened in Maricopa County. The vote recorder for Maricopa County, a fellow by the name of Stephen Richer, admitted under oath that Maricopa County did not count mail-in ballots at vote centers where they were originally dropped off as required by Arizona law. Maricopa County officials have a count of all the ballots at the processing center, but not at the original location where the ballots were dropped off. So the key here is that between transporting ballots from location A, where they were originally dropped off, to location B, right, there's actually no chain of custody record. We have an accurate count of the ballots on location at location B, but the ballots were not counted at location A. And there's no objective verification for determining whether the amount of ballots at location A is the exact same as in location B. In other words, the number of ballots could have been tampered with during the transportation process from place A to place B. And so that's what Kerry's talking about there with the 300,000 ballots, mail-in ballots that broke the chain of custody, but were nevertheless counted anyway. And as a result, Arizona has perhaps the single most embarrassing governor ever. Wait until you see the level of incompetence that Katie Hobbs has stooped to. But I got to be honest with you, with all of this corruption that we're seeing from our so-called leaders, I shouldn't have been surprised in the least when I was recently shown just how easy it is to actually access the deed to my house, and not just access it, but actually change it. If you don't know, the deeds to our homes is the only document that proves you own it. But the problem is that the deeds to all our homes are now online, and criminals are free to find your deed, forge your signature, refile as the new owner of your home, taking tons of loans out using your home's equity and sticking you with the debt. And don't expect homeowners insurance to bail you out, because it doesn't. But that is where our good friends over at Home Title Lock come in. Gang, they're absolutely amazing. Home Title Lock gives you the peace of mind that the deed to your home is absolutely and completely protected. And they want to help you right away. Click on that link below and use promo code Turley Talks. Then all you have to do is enter your address for your no obligation home title scan to see if you're already a victim of deed theft. That's a $100 value, absolutely totally free with my promo code Turley Talks. Gang, don't wait for the worst to happen only to regret that you didn't do something about it when you could have. Click on that link below right now and secure your home today. Yeah, unfortunately for the state of Arizona, Katie Hobbs is squatting inside the governor's mansion, and she is demonstrating herself to be an utterly incompetent embarrassment. If you haven't heard, she's starting off her governorship by putting a temporary moratorium on all executions of convicted murderers, ironically because of Arizona's supposed mismanagement of executions. And yet in the midst of all this, she refuses to tell anyone what her position is on the death penalty. Take a look at this utter embarrassment.
Governor, could you clarify what your position is on the death penalty?
I don't necessarily think that's relevant here. We just want to make sure that we're studying the practices.
So the people of Arizona probably have a legitimate question. They want to know where you stand personally on the death penalty. Can you tell us?
So she said that she's not going to tell you.
I know she said that.
Okay. How many times do you want her to say the same thing over and over?
Don't make me use this boot.
Don't make me use my boot. More ironic words have never been uttered. She's already a disaster of epic proportions. And the good news is that I think this is just going to bring about a tipping point in Arizona. As you can see, the grassroots, the Patriot grassroots, is more inspired, more energized, more organized than ever before. And if what we've been seeing over these last several months is any indicator, the best really is yet to come. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on Jordan Peterson utterly wrecking a woke politician on live TV. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.